And this is our only panel discussion with some women power onto the stage, because it's going to be an all-women panel with a discussion about women in fintech. And this is going to be very interesting. I'm really looking forward to this. For this, I'd like to call upon our moderator onto the stage first and foremost. And the moderator for this panel is going to be Miss Cecilia Wong, who's the founder and CEO at yourPRstrategist. Passionate for decentralized technologies, led her to establish yourPRstrategist, a Web3 blockchain, crypto, and emerging tech consultancy. Let's have Miss Cecilia to come onto the stage. Miss Wong, let's hear it for her, everyone. She's going to be our moderator for this panel. And I'd like to invite the speakers as well onto the stage now. So the first speaker that I invite is Miss Anastasia Denisova. She is the CEO at Realiste. In 2020, she joined PropTech startup Realiste as a partner and chief communications officer to help the company to become #1 expert in the real estate field. Oh, she's already here. Wonderful. Let's hear it for her. Next up, I'd like to invite our awardee from yesterday, Miss Yasmine Faik. She is the CEO at FACTUALYS, and she herself is an accomplished professional. She asks great questions as well, certainly. And of course, she has a career that has been marked by her expertise in data management, digital transformation, and her invaluable contributions to the financial sector. Miss Yasmine Faik, everyone. Next up, I'd like to invite Miss Baiba Broka, who is a legal and financial advisor and entrepreneur. She has more than 25 years of academic and research experience, as well as teaching contracts, international business transactions, and competition law, blockchain regulatory framework in several universities in different countries, including US, Spain, Brazil, Estonia, Latvia, Greece, and India. Miss Baiba Broka, everyone. Last but not the least, I'd like to invite Miss Lyudmila Khrapchenko to come onto the stage. She's also called Mila Khrapchenko. She's the co-founder of Ameetee, an angel investor, startup co-founder, and professional in structured finance with an overall experience of 20+ years. So that's our all-women panel here. So let's hear it for the women onto the stage now. A lot more power to you girls. Over to you.
Thank you so much for your kind introduction, and as well to the wonderful audience who've come to join us early this morning. Myself and my lovely panel of women in fintech, as we discuss the issues pertaining to this space. First up, let us go around the panel so that each one of you can actually give us a quick update of the your fintech story and journey so far. Shall we start off with you first, Anastasia?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for having me. Let me introduce myself in a few words. I joined in PropTech industry when I was 18. It was 5 years ago, and you know, I faced with many challenges. In Russia, we invented AI for the real estate market, and after 3 years journey in this big country with 140 million people, we recognized as the #1 technology for the real estate market. And I communicated with many officials and C-level position from banks, real estate developers, and guess what? Of course, it was a big challenge when your 18 young lady pitched to some C-level position in banks and pitch how you can disrupt this bank industry and something like that. And happy to be with you today, happy to share my experience with young leaders and young women leaders from my perspective. And we started our Dubai journey half year ago. Today we are a profitable company. We generate millions of dollars of revenue. We raise ton of money and bring our technology in 20 countries around the world. And I have the big expertise and started my day with Singapore and Chinese investors. During the holidays, I communicate with Arab world, and then finally, I just finished my day with American investors, and happy to share my communication expertise today. Thank you.
And Yasmine, please.
Yes. Okay. Thank you first, FiNext, for inviting me in this panel. I'm really very glad and happy to be part of this incredible woman with inspiring stories. My story started at the age of 3. My father passed away, and it was very difficult for me. I decided, because I saw my family surrounding me with and seeing me with pity. And I decided to change this pity by being excellent, by being brilliant. I needed really to change this pity to admiration. So I started to be excellent at school, and I decided to choose the path of excellence by being graduated from a big school in Morocco, which is top 1, named NCS. I was top 1. I was also the mayor of the school. And following this path of excellence, I had the chance to work on very big projects within big bank companies in bank and insurance. And I led many projects in terms of business and IT transformation. And until I had the possibility to work on a big project aiming to support the business in their data transformation journey. And I decided to make it my expertise. After that, I had many roles as a chief data officer within banks and big financial institution. And what I found is that during my work as an employee, I find that I spend a lot of time in commodities. How to engage people, how to get budget, how to communicate, how to have the sponsorship. And I found myself that I didn't have this possibility to be really on service by using my expertise as a data manager. So I decided to switch to entrepreneurial mode, and I created FACTUALYS, which is a consulting firm that aims to help and support the business and CEOs in their data-driven transformation.
Thank you, Yasmine, for sharing your inspiring story. May we have Baiba now?
Yes. Hello to everyone, and thank you for the opportunity to be here and also to be part of this distinguished panel. So, yes, my journey also, what relates to the professional business, it's like combined of 2 different worlds, at the same time very important, essential to each other. It's a financial structuring and management and law. So, and I realized very fast that being involved in a business, you can benefit if you can manage and understand both those very crucial parts. So, and also I've been always in parallel being involved in research and development and also in scientific part of the development of the businesses. And so I've been professor, I've been teaching contracts, this dynamic part of the economy over the world and learning. And of course, 2015, I actively joined the world of blockchain, only because some of my clients were so keen, what is this Bitcoin? And so we had the first conferences over in Europe talking about the first European Court of Justice decision which involved Bitcoin and whether it's applicable with any taxes. And so it was like a first time when the smart minds of judiciary needed to come up with some interpretation and description. What does it mean, Bitcoin, and what is the legal status? And since that moment, I've been involved and now advising several tier 1 investment funds over the world in order to decide in which project and which startups to invest or not. And also being in this field, I also realized that only by learning by doing, it's not enough. So I graduated from Oxford University to get my grade in blockchain strategy, also just to understand technology, which was quite difficult at the beginning for me. And yeah, and always trying to be within the new fintech ideas, mostly working with fintech projects from the very beginning, trying to find the proper legal wrapper for the business idea, and working with different jurisdictions and yeah, consulting investment funds, crypto exchanges, artificial intelligence-driven trading platforms. So, and being, yeah, trying to keep myself also be very actively involved in all the technologies.
Thank you so much, Baiba, for sharing your fintech journey so far. And let's have Mila.
Yes, let me wrap it up. So I will probably go from another angle. I would say that my journey is a constant answer to a question, oh my gosh, how you do it? I started studying at university in Moscow, at Moscow State University. I visited quite a few universities when I was studying there. And the most difficult part there was options and derivatives. And my first question then was, oh my gosh, how you do it? How you do it? I nearly failed the course. And then maybe 10, 15 years later, I found myself to be in the shoes of head of structured products department of one of the largest banks, leading the team and explaining everyone how you do it, how you structure the options, how you do the complex credit, how you do the hybrid derivatives, and so on. The next thing was how you bring kids, you know, and I ended up with having a family with 3 beautiful kids. The next question, at some point in my career, I discovered, oh, there are innovation companies, there is VC, how you do it? And I ended up at one of the brokers creating the product for the broad client audience that could invest in ventures using small checks at a later stage. And then what was exciting, I became an angel investor at a certain point. And again, it was very interesting from the outside, how you do it, how you develop a startup. So now I'm a startup co-founder running a digital platform. We don't have probably time a lot to speak about, but basically that's the platform that does innovation in a new way, allowing financial institutions rather than individuals to do a great offering of alternative assets in VC, private equity, private debt. And that's about me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mila. Thanks to all of you for sharing your fintech journeys and stories. Yeah, it's amazing, really, you know, how all of us, you know, come from different backgrounds, but we are all in one way or another inspired by what technology is doing right now in our world and want to be a part of it. As mentioned earlier, my name is Cecilia Wong. I am the CEO founder of a boutique PR agency based in Singapore. We focus on Web3 and emerging technologies. I'm just gonna keep this really short. For myself, I was doing PR in the fashion and beauty industries when I accidentally chanced and encountered blockchain technology, was thoroughly convinced of its world-changing impact. Then I went through a very, very steep learning curve, and voila, here I am. I'm going to keep it short, as I said. There is a long story, but that will be for another time. As we all know, fintech has been a very, very disruptive technology, disrupting the finance industry. It has become a multi-billion-dollar sector, and it continues to grow exponentially. So whether it is, you know, us moving money on our banking apps, whether it's paying for coffee with a tap of the phone, or, you know, even just sending money to our friends to split up a dinner bill. Lots of people everywhere in the world, everyone, you know, from different generations are using fintech. So it is extremely important for us to understand the factors and the trends that are impacting this industry. And so today, you know, we have been seeing a lot of an initiative, I would say, a move towards diversity in the fintech industry. And we want to delve a little bit more into this. We've seen a lot of the move towards, I would say, women, as well as like cultural types of diversity issues. And today I think we were going to focus more on the gender, but we will also probably touch on cultural because it's all very much interrelated. And I think it's very important to first of all establish why it is we think it's important that women should be hired in the fintech industry. And you know, what important perspectives and contributions do women bring to the table? And I would like Mila to start off this conversation because we had actually met yesterday and she had some very interesting things to say about this.
You know, look at us, and that's probably an answer from the first glance. But generally, I would say, and this is very subjective, of course, that women bring the diversity because of 2-3 main facts. One of it, the organizations where there are women in the executive roles, there are fewer conflicts because women tend, rather than to go into open conflict, they tend to find some ways around diplomacy. And to bring that down, they rather would bring partnerships in than competitors. And for example, I myself constantly make an argument to my co-founders. I have 2 men co-founders, exactly like Anastasia. Or you have 1. Yeah, so whatever. They would say, go and compete openly. We often find a way to build partnership there. Also, I would say that women are great about user-centric details. They're great about details also. So I would probably highlight those 3 factors.
Thank you. Actually, Anastasia, do you want to give us your thoughts on this?
Yeah, my thesis is a very short and very clear in my perspective. Women population is the largest population, yes, if we are talking about there in the world. And of course, if more women involved in fintech industry and technology industry, we will see big leap in next 5 years. And from my statistics, what I see now in MENA region from last 2 years here, there are more than 30% of all IT specialists and C-level positions and management and IT industry. Only in MENA region will be around 20% it will be the women. And it's a great number and absolutely accelerate all this market and accelerate the volume of the knowledges, of the quality, cause it's a statistic. If more people involved in somewhere, women is around maybe 60% of whole population, maybe 70. Yeah, we need to check. Sorry about that. Let's check and Google it. But yeah, it's a large part of the world, and I'm happy to see. And I have 3 the strongest ladies from MENA region. Let's say Her Excellency Aisha bin Bishr. She is a vice chairwoman at MR. She is our part of advisory board, and I saw her career in MENA region. You know, it's incredible what you can do. And absolutely conservative market, but I work in absolutely conservative market. It's called real estate.
Right. So I suppose everyone is agreed that there is a lot of value of having women in this space. And Yasmine, do you want to add on to that, actually?
Yeah, I do confirm what Mila said. I think that women in general, they have this emotional intelligence. The emotional intelligence puts when there is a kind of conflict, negotiation, could make the best solution. And for me, it is something very important.
Mm-hmm. Do you think this emotional intelligence comes about because of, you know, like something that happens because of our experience as women, as mothers, as, I mean, is that how you would see that emotional intelligence? I mean, does that come from that kind of a space? Or, I mean, I'm sure men have emotional intelligence too, right? But, I mean, how do you see us having more emotional intelligence? I mean, does any one of you want to take this question?
Maybe I can, definitely, I do agree that man has emotional intelligence as well. And I would say that sometimes I experience even more stronger than we women, you know, so, but it's maybe a deviation is that we women, because of many duties we are playing today, we learn to be more successful in being this multitasking. When we try to combine, we still, the expectations if we look to the women are still, I'm coming from Nordic part of Europe where we've never actually had big problems for women to be equal. So we have like, I grew up actually in society when women were holding high positions, being president of the country, prime ministers, minister. I was minister myself, so we were like half of the government. So we actually never had like really necessity to prove who we are. And this maybe also made me this self-esteemness quite high whenever I go in different cultures right now, saying that, you know, so yes, I'm equal. I have also my point of view. And if you come with this perception, I think, you know, so also at the same time, we still have to be women. We don't need to have a place or replace and to be too masculine, whatever. We still have to be charming. We have to be looking good. We have to be smart. We have to be successful. And I think this is that brings this color in the business.
Do you think this is actually like much more pressure on us then, I suppose, since now we have to also be, you know, like good in the traditional ways, and then there are also like, you know, like the new
Yeah, but I do
spaces.
believe that women, first of all, we have this natural, traditional, you know, duties and missions we have to complete. And at the same time, we show the world that we can be very successful doing also new qualities, right?
Any one of you would like to add on to this?
Yes, I will. I will add something. Again, this is just my personal opinion, but I think that the whole Western civilization is, and it's not about women, it's about people generally. A good deal of us is achievers, and we need to achieve everywhere. We need to achieve at work, to make a successful career. Our kids, if we have any, have to go to the best school, to the best university. If we are doing sport, we have to do sport very well, really run a marathon maybe, or anything else. And what comes for women here very often, and you need to be very conscious about that if you're a woman, that on top of that comes family. And typically, there are different cultures, of course, but in vast majority of cultures, even in the United States, or maybe in Northern Europe less so, but in the country where I come from, definitely in Israel or in Russia, where I lived before, there is a domination of this perception that women should take care of family and keep the house. So there is additional stress, and you have to be conscious of that, and you have to be aware that building your career may conflict at a certain point in time with trying to achieve everything. So you just need to keep the balance.
Definitely, I agree with that. I think the balance is so important, you know, because you really have to make sure that one thing doesn't take priority over the other. As women, you know, there are certain things that I personally believe are important. You know, in terms of biology. I mean, I believe we are the ones who are able to give birth. So that's one thing that, I mean, of course, you know, there are now different views on this at the moment, but traditionally, you know, it's been women who give birth, right? And so having children, you know, like this entire domain has traditionally been a women focused domain, I would say, and it's been, I suppose, more recently that, it's not that recent, of course, it's, been already, quite a while that women have been in the workforce, but especially so in technology, I believe that women are now taking more space in this area, and there are certain challenges that come with it, and I just wanted to know, maybe one of you, Yasmine, perhaps you can talk about some of these challenges that come.
Okay, according to statistics, only 19% of entrepreneurs are women, which is very low.
Sorry, how many percent?
19%, 19. Okay. All categories included, not only for fintech. So you imagine what is the statistic for only for fintech? It will be very, very low. So I think it is accumulated by time, and there are some stereotypes. When we imagine a computer engineer, for instance, we imagine a geek man with big glasses, and it's not really very attractive sometimes for women. So it is a kind of stereotype.
Okay.
And also, what's already said, I think that women generally, and in some kind of cultures, they have a huge responsibility, being a mother, being a spouse, being responsible of a household. And it takes a lot of time, a lot of energy.
Yeah, I wanted
Baiba.
to add that I'm seeing also a big shift. I'm teaching some courses in India, in IIT, and some of the leading universities. And what I discovered lately, 75% of computer science students are females. And they have special programs supporting, and they are brilliant. And when we have this hackathon competition of the new ideas, business ideas they would like to start, I would say 80% those teams are composed of girls. And they're very successful, So I think it's also very cultural. So governments of India decided that this is really something they have to promote, and they're putting their efforts and all the kind of financial assistance as well if you want to study. And it's amazing. So this industry today, it used to be also like a tradition saying that lawyers are only mostly men. It's not true anymore since I would say 15, 20 years. And this field also, the more and more girls are really, have courage to enter, and they're very successful.
Oh, so you said that there was what, 75%?
Almost 75% of computer science students in colleges, universities are girls.
Wow, wow, that's like a large percentage. But then you say there are 19%.
Like in different levels, colleges and everything. So it's a lot.
Right. And then there are 19% that actually make up the industry. I mean, it's like
it depends
disparity.
It depends if they after that start their own business and become entrepreneurs. This is something different, and this is what we have to facilitate, to mentor, and to encourage to continue those ideas, not only being while they are students, but also in real lives. This is something that we have to find the ways to encourage and to continue to be successful. Right?
Definitely. And Mila, you?
Yeah, let me take a word. I think that at the college level, we see that frequently girls outperform boys, especially while at school, and then the situation somehow changes. And I guess the biggest challenge for women is to get as high as the executive roles, because here we see them less often, at least as of now, in the sector, then we see them as successful students. So that seems to be on the surface the biggest challenge you need to address.
Right. Actually, Anastasia, did you want to?
Yeah, but I have absolutely opposite thesis for the speakers today, and I think all challenges what we have as a woman in our head. For example, I don't be a mother if I don't want to be, and you can find the right partner for you who can have, the same ethics, the same challenges, and the same kind of expectations from your side. You can hire a nanny and you can be happy, or he can be a father and mother plus. You can choose, and you can choose the country, city, you can involve, you can choose your life. In my life, I don't have any challenges as I'm lady, as I'm entrepreneur, to be honest with you. But I operate on emerging markets. It's very important to say that. I operate in MENA region in Indonesia. This is the largest Muslim country, Indonesia. I'm operating in Jakarta. I speak with many people from Bali, Thailand, Riyadh, and I don't have any challenges because I choose my life when I want to be.
Okay, so you're saying that you don't face any challenges or barriers being a woman in technology in this region, right?
Exactly, and I hire many women leaders and many young leaders as a top managers in our company. Our company today is around 200 employee and persons, colleagues, partners, and all of them, they have absolutely different reality, but it's not our own reality. We have many stakeholders, many partners, many local investors from different parts of the world. It's your proposition, how you can be on the meetings, what is it about your USP, how you can be involved. Of course, I know about statistics, and I feel and I hear my ladies around me, but I don't see any challenges.
Okay, anyone wants to defer on this?
First of all, I would agree that everything is in our head. I absolutely agree with that. And I don't think that any of us would be sitting here if we didn't somehow overcome these challenges. Second thing is, indeed, reality is different, and that is probably in Anastasia's comment what lies an answer. What can we do in principle to somehow fuel more women's leadership in Fintech, maybe in other sectors as well? And it's all about mentoring and coaching. And this is frequently what VC funds would do. For example, if you're a startup, you will receive, and you have good investors, you would receive, first of all, a lot of mentorship, which will guide you how to raise funds, how to present yourself, where to look for partners, how to test for a product market fit, many other things. But there will be also lots of coaching that would allow you to deal with your own psycho problems.
Right.
Let me give some example from my experience. Absolutely agree with Mila, and she's an incredible person. I think she has unique insights, and thank you for that. And just from my perspective, one example. Some women told me like, okay, this man leader, he prefer work only with men and other he hires, and his background and around him only men. I can't be here and something like that. Of course, you need to be very confident when you go to someone and you know he prefers to operate, for example, Russian only with Russians, or something like that. Yes, some banks are only with banks, or something like that, or men only with men. Why you go to him? You can choose another partner. We can be, 100% excellent for all people around the world. We need to choose, we need to do research, we need to be prepared before the meetings. We need to know who is our right partner. And if I see some person who have, kind of expectations about my gender, it's not my potential partner. I don't waste my time with him 100%, because we can't build something together. We can build relationship, partnership, collaboration if he has kind of expectation about my gender. And I know about that. And this is the reason why I don't have any challenges, because I choose.
Baiba, you want to jump in?
I think, so some kind of formula of success for women to be confident, to be equal, it's too late to start teach those good samples and classes when you are already like age 20 and something like that. It's all about education when you are a little girl. So we have to teach those girls to be confident, to be ready to struggle, you know, to win, to learn to lose, and to be strong enough to stand again and continue when you're a little child. Already, this is how you build your character. You have to, it's not like one day story, you know, when you're adult, now we teach you, coach you, and you're gonna go. If it's, and at the same time, you have to be like honest. Not all of them are equal, not all of them have to be leaders. No, it's, you know, still, it is a beauty that we are so different. None of that, what we want to say that more and more women are strong enough and ready to be in these leader positions, because being a leader, it's not easy. You know, it's absolutely not easy, right? If you want to live, so it takes a lot of effort. You all the time, it's never-ending story. But I think it's very important also how we start, you know, approaching and learning and teaching those qualities when you are like a kid.
Great. So I think that from the discussion, I think most of us agree that there has been a lot of improvement and advances in this area, and that's why, as Anastasia pointed out, there are actually not any kind of major barriers to women actually wanting to get into the fintech industry, you know, the finance industry. What I would be interested though is knowing whether this greater diversity, right, in terms of gender and culture, whether it impacts the bottom line. And does anyone want to comment on that? Are there figures that show that this diversity actually, you know, impacts negatively or positively?
I think the diversity are, well, again, that's my personal perspective. Diversity is always good.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think, you know, like diversity or what kind of like, especially when we talk about fintech, which is still a very vulnerable part of the economy, you know, it's growing. And I always think that vulnerability is ability for growth, you know, so, and that's why also that being part of this. And but also Anastasia told that, you know, the majority of the population is women. And so technically talking from the market economy, so the customers mostly are women. And in order to have a products and services which serve the customer, so we have to, you know, we know the best. We know the best what we really want to achieve, right? And what we want to receive. Right?
Mm-hmm. That's a great point, actually. Yeah, because as more women become consumers and customers, we actually do need the women perspective so that...
And if the businessmen, men, understand that they want to come in the market with the services and products, mostly which will be obtained and used by women, so they have to have us on board, because we know the best what we want to receive, right?
Mm-hmm, totally. I think that we're actually running out of time. Do you think that I have time to ask one last question? Is that okay? Okay. Well, I want to know what role can venture capital and investment firms play in supporting women-led fintech startups? Do you want to take on this question?
Yeah, actually, of course, my main point of view, we don't have any difference between women and men's, and
but it's merit based, right? It's
yes, this is
well
a base. The step two, what I want to explain. I met with many venture firms here in MENA region, many venture firms from Singapore, across the globe, China, Russia, Europe, and of course, American VC firms. This is the largest part of the world today in terms of the deals and volume of venture economy. And what I see, to be honest with you, and the first expression, of course, we have kind of some preferences. When someone see you, 24 years old, co-founder, and you're a lady, yeah, they have kind of the first compliment to you. Maybe that's all. When you're talking about the market volume, financial statements, to be honest with you, it doesn't matter. And yes, we see firms today publicly very support the women. I know about the many startups programs for women, but from my perspective, I didn't be involved. I don't know how it really affected the women, and I don't see any examples from, you know, the women accelerators, they like recognized as a #1 women technology, something like that. I don't see, but I like the approach because I see how the publicity can affect to our mindset, and this is very good when you could be absolutely equal, and I don't see any expectations from them, because I absolutely have every time probably the same conversation with them, based on my personality first, not based on my gender.
And does anyone want to jump in on this?
I think yes, with the venture funds I'm working with, usually we try to put this quota that we will allocate for the women dreaming, or if the women ideas are like a part of the business idea as well. So, and of course, coming back to Europe, as you see, it's even in a laws, it's mandatory for a lot of the investment structures, funds, non-governmental, governmental organizations. If you talk about executive level, there should be this equal quota. So we even have to, mandatory, we are imposed to follow that, we follow this like gender equality.
Great. I don't think we have time to, yeah, okay. So we're going to end up here, but I wanted to thank all of you for giving your insights into this, what's happening in this space. And, I think that, as everyone agrees, I think lots of advancements have been made in this space, which is the reason why we're even all able to be here today. And lastly, I want to thank the organizers, FiNext, for inviting all of us here today, as well as the wonderful audience who have sat through with us. And thank you very much, guys.